Hello Leo, this is your love and relationship reading for August 2018. And if you're a Patreon sponsor of Tarot by Aire, you're getting this reading July 8th, 3 weeks before my YouTube subscribers. Okay, so cutting the cards. The first card is a King of Cups. The next card is a Two of Swords. I have the shadow side. A Knight of Swords. A Seven of Cups, and this has been showing up quite a bit. I have a King of Swords reversed. I have a Queen of Wands. Eight of Cups. This has been showing up a couple times as well. I have Ace of Pentacles. Okay, and of course, I will provide a main reading, an outcome card after the main reading. So what's going on here, Leo? You do have a Queen of Wands. So you have some fire here. But just know that the Queen of Wands is usually, the Queen of Wands is usually associated with Aries. But obviously it's still significant here with the fire energy. Another thing that I usually point out, you have 3 swords here, 3 cards with cups. Interesting things going on here with the swords. Remember, air nurtures fire. And fire needs air to keep going. You know, if it doesn't have air, fire cannot exist. So whenever I see a lot of swords in a reading for a fire sign like Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, I'm like, this is what happens when a fire sign fights back. Or this is what happens when the fire energy gets irritated, because fire changes everything, but fire is also very intense. People with fire energy or who are fire sign, they're very loyal, very devoted, very passionate. And when things go wrong, or if you mess with someone with a fire sign, things can blow up. Pardon the pun, but yes, things do get an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, if you really mess with them or agitate them, or if fire signs are going through something that's very intense. Those swords can reflect the psychological energy, because swords represent the power of the mind, the psychological aspects, you know, the anxiety, the fears, all of those things. And with this major arcana card, it's the only major arcana card you have, Leo. You have the shadow side. And this is about fighting back the negative influence of a person or a situation. In very intense readings, this can be about fighting an addiction. But the shadow side just isn't about being a victim. It is about overcoming. And so I'm seeing this shadow side energy, and it's also called the devil. in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot. I'm seeing this negative influence or toxic aspect of the relationship putting you on alert, okay? Especially with this King of Swords reversed. Lots of emotional manipulation. If the King of Swords represented a person, this King of Swords would be someone who lies, manipulates, and is just very emotionally dishonest. They mess with your head. And so when I see this Knight of Swords here upright, and then I see this King of Swords reversed, and they're on either side of this Seven of Cups, yes, they're messing with your emotions, quite possibly. They're also, someone could also be very passive aggressive, and it's having an effect on you. So, having taken that into account, these swords, especially with the Two of Swords, just a lot of confusion. I feel this manipulation has some of you Leos confused, feeling pressured. And then with the cups, I see this emotional energy, not necessarily a particular person, but I'm seeing some of this need for emotional distance and making a choice here, which is the Seven of Cups. And then you have that Eight of Cups in your future, which is about letting go, walking away for your own good. Okay. So whatever's happening here, especially with the toxic energy of the shadow side, I feel like it needs to happen. There's a purpose for that. And so this King of Cups who's in control, it's the battle of the kings. You know, this battle of the kings is, I don't think you can ignore that. But you do have this King of Swords reversed versus the King of Cups. And the King of Cups is obviously emotionally mature. The King of Cups is always in charge of his emotions. And the King of Cups doesn't necessarily, yeah, the King of Cups can be romantic, but that's more of the Knight of Cups. But the King of Cups is a ruler, okay? And he's very wise, and he uses his intuition and the energy of his subconscious, the message that his subconscious is giving him wisely, okay? And so when I look at this first row with the King of Cups, you have cups in every single row. Yes, this negative energy of the shadow side is sort of bringing a little bit of turmoil with this Two of Swords here. And I think that's where I see the emotional turmoil coming in for you, Leo, especially seeing that this is water energy. You're more comfortable being passionate and excited and more about action, acting on your feelings. But I feel like when someone's manipulative or passive aggressive, you don't know what to do. Okay, so in a way, they're sort of sapping your power here, especially with the water energy of your emotions. So this is when I feel like this Seven of Cups here in the middle, it's all about making an emotional choice here. And excuse me, it's about making an emotional choice. You have to choose one cup. And this is being, I feel like you're being squashed with the pressure of this sword's energy here. Confusion and taking you out of your element here, which would be represented by the Queen of Wands. So when we get here to the future, then of course, yes, we have some fire here, but I also feel this Queen of Wands is significant because it means that you've had enough. And so that's when we come to the Eight of Cups, letting go, walking away. And then this wonderful Ace of Pentacles, which means a new beginning physically and materially. But as you guys know, I like seeing this card because it means not only a new beginning, but maybe a new beginning in a relationship. Starting over, seeing other people. Now, of course, that can play out. This whole thing can play out in different ways. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to leave someone. For some of you, I don't think it necessarily means you're going to walk away from someone. But I do feel like there's a need for emotional balance and healing here with the Eight of Cups. There's a need for rejuvenation. And so you get the stability of Pentacles because they're slower. They represent Earth. They're more stable. So let's see what your outcome card says. And your outcome card is a Two of Pentacles reversed. Very interesting. Now, the Two of Pentacles, it's about juggling. It's about keeping things balanced here. And I usually see this Two of Pentacles in a relationship reading, and I'm thinking someone's juggling two things. They are juggling two jobs, two relationships. Maybe they're undecided. Sometimes when I see this in a relationship reading, it can mean not being committed, you know. And note how the young man, his back is turned towards against the water. He's not connected with his feelings. So I'm seeing an interesting thing for you, Leo. I'm seeing walking away emotionally, walking away, and then this Ace of Pentacles comes along. This more physical, material energy that's pulling you away from your emotions. And when I look at this Two of Pentacles reversed in the outcome card, I'm kind of like feeling that there's difficulty in this balance, just feeling overwhelmed, feeling out of control. And so I feel like there's a little bit of chaos here that you're about. In the future, you may decide, I'm going to walk away from this. But also, there's going to be a big adjustment in your personal world, you know, whether it's about living with someone or separating from someone. I kind of feel that there's a lot going on in the physical, material aspects of this relationship that you need to sort of get together. You might need to do this alone, or this other person might help you. But when you go from one and then you go to two, the next level, but yet this Two of Pentacles is reversed, it kind of tells me that you're making a transition to getting things more stable and grounded. But it's not going to come without a little bit of issues and a little bit of chaos. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes we have to turn off our emotions and get to the practical world first before we can then get our relationships together. So that's kind of what I'm feeling here in this reading. So once again, I want to thank everyone for their support. And as I said, if you're a sponsor of Tarot by Aire on Patreon, you're getting this reading on July 8th, which is 3 weeks earlier than everyone else. And if you can't be a sponsor for $1 a month, you can also make a one-time donation. And some of you have decided to do that. So I really appreciate it. So I hope you're having a wonderful summer. And lots of more goodies coming on the way in the next few weeks. So stay tuned. And as always, I wish you love and light, and I'll see you next month.